I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited that you found me, and if you're returning, I'm so grateful you've decided to come back and watch more. I love all things luxury. I love luxury shoes, luxury handbags, luxury lifestyle and vlogging, and if they're things that appeal to you, I hope you'll do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Louis Vuitton, we're losing our minds. What is happening? Oh my goodness, the internet broke, well, luxury internet broke, about the announcement that the Neverfull is disappearing. Is it disappearing? Is it just being discontinued? Is it being scaled back in production? Is it just moving online? What is the story here, Louis Vuitton? I'm here to give you what I know and what I think is about to happen. As somebody who is an avid collector, as someone who has shopped at Louis Vuitton for over 20 years, as somebody who is considered within Louis Vuitton a VIP, let me tell you what I know and what my take is on this, and I will also share with you some upcoming news from Louis Vuitton after we do that. So let's look at what is happening. So Foxy LV, who has a very, very well-known Instagram account, she clearly has excellent inside information at Louis Vuitton, posted something on her Instagram page which was quickly taken down, saying that the Neverfull was going to move to a system where you could only put your name on a waitlist. So a waitlist system in store. They were taking them all out of stores. If you wanted them, you would need to put your name down on a waitlist to get one. She promptly took that down and put something else up that said that she wasn't allowed to give that information quite yet. But once it's out, it's out. There is no taking it back. Screenshots happen and now it is out. So the story goes that Neverfulls will be taken out of stores completely. You will need to put your name down on a waitlist if you would like one, and they will be sold online but in limited quantities. And this with a view, the rumor is that they will be discontinued altogether. So we've been hearing rumblings for a while that canvas will move online with Louis Vuitton, that they will take canvas out of stores altogether and they will only sell leather within the stores, and if you want a canvas piece you've got to get it online. I don't know if that's something that they would ever actually do. So sorry, I've got notes, so let's go with my notes. So is it discontinuing or is it limiting quantity? So we have seen this with previous bags before. This is not the first time this has happened, and I have now asked everybody that I possibly can within my circle of Louis Vuitton contacts, and I have put together a hypothesis based on what has happened previously and what everyone thinks is happening. So let's first remember that sales associates in store don't have all the answers. It is that simple. Head office in Paris will give directions to stores, and in a lot of cases even store directors get blindsided with last minute information. So it is kept very, very tight for a reason. So if you've got sales associates who are saying to you, no, that's not happening, and you've got other sales associates who say, yeah, that's definitely happening, you've got to take it all with a grain of salt. Everybody does not know everything. It is that simple. Paris are never going to share everything with the stores because then it leaks. So we see. So, but we have seen this happen previously with very, very popular bags. So I give you the favorite, the Pichet accessoire. We can also take the bum bag as a good example, and the toiletry pouch as a great example. So we have seen these really popular bags either stop production altogether, the production has been incredibly limited, or they've taken it away and brought it back in a new form. This has happened before. So I think everybody thought the Neverfull would be untouchable for the simple reason that it is so popular and everybody wants a Neverfull. Well, not everybody, but you know, lots of people want Neverfulls. I've got 18 of them. I love them. I think they're a fantastic, fantastic bag. but it is not part of their heritage collection. The Neverfull was introduced in 2007, so it is not a heritage brand, a heritage line for Louis Vuitton. The Speedy, the Alma, heritage pieces, they're never going anywhere. They will always be there. It's that simple. But the Neverfull is 2007, so it is, generally speaking, a fairly new range for a company that has been around since 1854. So 1854 is when Louis Vuitton started, and here we are in 2007 with the Neverfull, and now in 2023. So it's the timeline there. The Neverfull is a baby by Louis Vuitton standards. So it happens that Louis Vuitton have always had a business strategy where a bag can get to a point where it is so saturated in the market, and in a lot of cases so counterfeited, that they will look at it and go, you know what, we're not going to sell it anymore, or we're going to limit its production. So they scaling that back a bit. So with the favorite, we saw it disappear altogether. It wandered off into the distance in this form, and they brought back a different favorite, which in my opinion is not as good and isn't quite the same. So they did that with the favorite. They brought it back in a different form. The Pochette accessoire, they are still making this. They don't make it in the Demier Bean. I got this on the pre-loved market. They still do it in the Demier Azure, and if anyone's interested, there was one available on the Australian website yesterday, and they do it in the monogram canvas. That is it. In the early 2000s, this came in a range of colors in epi leather. It came in all the canvases. It came in the Murakami collection. It was the entry-level bag at Louis Vuitton. It was everywhere. Everyone had one. And then suddenly they scaled it right back. They have not discontinued it altogether, although we can kind of see that it's moving into very limited production. It's very hard to get, but they certainly scaled it back to very, very small numbers of production. So this is a strategy that we have seen time and time again with Louis Vuitton. It should not be a shock to anyone that they are looking at the Neverfull and going, you know what, there are an awful lot in the market. It is heavily counterfeited, so we're going to scale back production. Is it a stupid business move? What are they doing with this? Why would they do this? So the first reaction that a lot of people are having is that they're trying to be like Hermes. They are not trying to be like Hermes. Louis Vuitton is only 17 years younger than Hermes. Hermes started 17 years before Louis Vuitton did. They are a French luxury brand. They are arrogant. They are not trying to be Hermes. They're never going to try and be Hermes. They think they're fabulous on their own. Why are they trying to be another brand? Added to that, LVMH as a group make far more money than Hermes does. Now, you could say that we should only be comparing Louis Vuitton to Hermes and not the whole LVMH group, but money's money. Board members are board members. What do they care? Like, they're making a lot of money. They make more than Hermes, so they're not trying to be Hermes. When you're in business, there's also something to be said for you don't look at what the guy next door is doing and try to emulate them, because you spend your whole life trying to chase your tail and be someone else and be that brand, and you can't do that. The best way to run your business is to say, this is what we do, and we do it very well, and we're going to stand on our own. And I truly believe that Louis Vuitton have that business strategy in place. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is our heritage. We're not changing for anyone. So they don't care about Hermes. They're not looking at them trying to be them. This is not a case of them trying to make the Neverfull a quota bag. It's not a quota bag. It's never going to be a quota bag. So I don't think that's a really good argument for why they would do this. They're not trying to be anyone other than who they always have been. And we can clearly see they have a history of doing this with bags. So it's not coming out of the blue and suddenly they're changing their marketing strategy. It's always been a strategy. They've done it before. It's just we're so shocked that they're doing it with the Neverfull. So there's also conversation around, are they getting rid of canvas? Is this the start? Is this the test balloon that they're going to move canvas out of stores and online, or they're going to discontinue canvas altogether? No. Canvas isn't going anywhere. It's just not. It is part of the heritage of the brand. It will always be there. It can't go anywhere. Anyone who works for Louis Vuitton will tell you how proud Louis Vuitton are of their heritage. They shove it down their throats. They make you learn all the history of the brand. You have to know it inside out and back the front if you work there, because they're so proud. And part of being proud of their history and those hard-sided pieces which were made in canvas is having canvas available to the consumer. Canvas is not going anywhere. It's just not. So don't need to panic buy lots of monogram or damier ebene or damier azure pieces. It's not going anywhere. It will always exist, but it might come in different styles of bags. I truly believe canvas will always come in a Speedy and an Alma. It is who the brand is. That's their heritage. But for now, we can see with the Neverfull that it's about the bag and not the canvas. I believe. This is my opinion. This is all my opinion based on information that I have collected. Please just take everything with a grain of salt at this point. We're all guessing, but it's whether or not it's an educated guess or if it's like we're just going to try and draw a line from here to here, but it really doesn't work. So this is all guesswork for everybody at this point. We're not sitting in the head office at Paris having conversations with the people making these decisions. Nobody on YouTube is. So it's just all guesswork at this point. So what do I think's happening? I think we are going to see the Neverfull retract in its production. I think it's going to become like the Pochette accessoire. I think they will downplay the production of it. I think you will find it harder to get one. I think they will start to take lines out. So I've talked before about, I think the Neverfull PM in the Damier Azure is on its way out. I have said that in previous videos up to 6 months ago because it looked slightly different on the website. I think we will start to see sizes disappear, and I think we will start to see canvases within those sizes disappear as well. I think we will continue to see limited editions released, and even now the Monoglam has just been released and it has a Neverfull in it, so I don't think they're going anywhere. But I think what we will see is mainly limited editions, and canvas production will be incredibly limited. I think it's a dicey business decision for Louis Vuitton because a lot of people get a Neverfull as a gift. It's an easy tote. It's a fantastic travel bag, and it is such a hyped bag that you're going to lose clients if they can't access it, especially if you're not replacing it with something that is a like for like, and the on the go just isn't a like for like as far as I'm concerned. It's too boxy, it's too heavy. So I think they do run the risk that they will lose clients in the long term by getting rid of the Neverfull. So the argument has been made that the clients who buy the Neverfull are not the clients that Louis Vuitton want. That they want people who want to buy their leather, they want people who want to buy from their ready-to-wear, from their shoes, and from their jewelry collections, like their high jewelry. I think that's a really simplistic way to look at it, and I don't think it's correct. So anyone who is looking at the business as a whole and is looking at the business in terms of long term knows that the client who comes in who buys the Pochette accessoire or the Neverfull, say in their early 20s, that would be me, that was me, can then quite easily become enamored with the luxury experience, and suddenly they're back to buy their next bag, and then they're buying their next bag, and then they're looking at their leather bags, and then they're looking at their shoes, and then suddenly they're in their ready to wear. And sometimes that progression from this Pochette accessoire to the ready to wear high jewelry can take 20 years of a relationship, but Louis Vuitton are aware that if they can build the clients early, they will become high-end clients on the other end. But if you take away all the entry pieces, where are you drawing those clients from is the question. Louis Vuitton will always need to keep an entry level, and which is why they're really lucky they've got canvas, so that they can build those long relationships with clients that they want to move up the chain. So it's not going anywhere, but I think the Neverfull will be a bit of an earthquake to the whole Louis Vuitton business as a whole. But I also think it's one that they will just push through. They'll go, it is what it is, where this is our strategy. It has been our strategy before. Case in point, Pochette Accessoire, the Favorite, the bum bag, like they've done this before. They will push through and they will come out the other side with something else that everybody will want. There will be another bag that they will bring out, or they will start to push a different bag, and that will become at the entry level. And when that becomes too popular, they'll do what they always do. So it is a solid marketing strategy because it has worked before. But those of us who have been here since the inception of the Neverfull are really feeling like this is a bit of a sucker punch, like, oh my goodness, it's gone. Now what are we going to do? And that is why we're seeing such a huge backlash to this. Whether or not that backlash will translate to there being a change, like this whole thing blowing up in the way that it has could well have been orchestrated in order for it to be a test balloon. Let's put the information out there. Let's see what happens. Let it leak and let's see how big the backlash is and if we really want to do it. It's a really easy way to test the market without doing a single thing. So, conspiracy theory maybe, but it is certainly an interesting one to consider. Has this whole thing, this whole internet explosion, simply been a test balloon to see if Louis Vuitton can do this and not have backlash? Or maybe it's just a marketing strategy to sell a whole heap of Neverfulls in a very short time, because they are now sold out on different websites around the world. There's people on wait lists for Neverfulls where that hasn't happened ever, I'm gonna say. So it's certainly something to consider. Is this going to happen again? There's rumblings that this is going to be the Pochette Matisse, that Pochette Matisse will suddenly be taken away in canvas and will disappear. For me, that would be devastating. My Pochette Matisse in the monogram canvas is my everyday bag, and I have often threatened that I'm going to buy a second one, and if there's rumblings on it, you can bet that I'm going to be there to buy a second one because I love that bag. So yeah, it could easily happen again. So if you're thinking about buying something, you should always get it, because it won't always be there unless it's a Speedy or an Alma, I reckon. I reckon they're pretty safe with that. But the other bags, they come and go. Louis Vuitton will do what Louis Vuitton want to do, and they have a solid marketing strategy and it works for them. So they're unlikely to change it. Okay, the other news that I have is that a price increase is imminent at Louis Vuitton. So for years and years and years, the price increase always happened in October. It was almost like clockwork. You could set a watch by it. It was always going to happen in October. It hasn't for several years now. They've been all over the place. Word on the street, on the Louis Vuitton street, is that there will be a price increase before the end of the financial year. End of financial year in Australia is the 30th of June. So you've got about 5 weeks. I do not know what date it will happen. I do not know what the increase will be. I do not know on what products it will be on. All I know is that the understanding is that there will be a price increase before the end of the financial year. If I get more information, I will share it. I will most likely put it up first on my Instagram account because I can do that instantly. Instagram, instant, whereas I don't always have time to film. So please make sure you are following me over on Instagram, because as soon as I hear, I will put it up so that you know it's coming. Obviously, there are lots of other great accounts to follow who have information incoming. I'll share information I know about Australia because that's where my information's coming out of. There is a chance that Louis Vuitton will look at the economic climate around the world and decide that maybe they won't do it now, that maybe they'll put it off for a bit, that maybe the price increase won't be that massive or on that many lines. There's always a chance. I feel like it's coming. Like I almost feel it. Like, you know, they say, my grandmother used to say, I feel it in my waters. I just kind of feel that it is imminent at this point and that they will do it. I don't feel like it's going to be massive, but don't quote me on that. I could be way off. But at this point, my understanding is, from what I am being told, that there will be a price increase before the 30th of June 2023. So that's really where I'm at this point. It's been a lot of back and forth with different people, with different sources that I've got about the Neverfull and about the price increase, and I've gathered as much information as I can. I've also gone back and looked at what the business has done before, and just my thoughts around that being a long-term client. So, but it's all just my opinion. I mean, really, what do I know at the end of the day? But they're my thoughts based on all of that. Take it all with a grain of salt. Do with it what you wish. I don't think the Neverfull's going just yet, but if you want one, I'd be getting involved and doing it soon, just in case. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. It means a lot to a content creator when you hit that subscribe button. I'll also throw my Instagram handle up so you can come follow me over there. I put lots up in real time, lots around my day-to-day collection, and anything I hear, any news. So please come follow me over there. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.